Welcome to Klepper's Corner, your refuge from sanity and your weekly reminder that reality has completely given up trying to make sense. I'm your host, Jordan Klepper, and today we dive into the beautifully unhinged world of weird news, the B-sides of the universe, if the universe were run by Twitter algorithms and raccoons with typewriters. It's July 2025. You know what that means? Fireworks, freedom, and total farce. Because while you were trying to keep your grill from exploding and convincing your uncle that vaccines don't contain Wi-Fi, the world was busy being weird. This week's roundup includes emus on the run, snakes on a plane, robots chasing soccer balls, and orcas offering fish to humans. I repeat, orcas are now waiters. So grab your lucky fortune cookie, hold on to your crypto wallet, and let's jump straight into the bizarre stew that is July 1st through July 3rd, 2025. Segment 1, Doge threats and presidential posting. President Trump kicked off July like a firework that backfired directly into the concept of coherence. In a statement about fiscal policy, which for Trump means whatever weird thing popped into his brain between golf swings, he threatened Elon Musk's government contracts by saying, "We might have to put Doge on Elon. Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon." That's right. We are now measuring U.S. economic policy in memes. We've officially replaced the gold standard with the Doge standard. Next week, the Fed will meet to discuss whether to peg interest rates to Pepe the Frog. Now imagine being Elon Musk, sitting in your cryogenic pod of self-importance, sipping carbon-neutral moon water, and hearing that the president just threatened you with a cartoon dog cryptocurrency. Somewhere an economist just exploded into confetti. And yet, this is somehow the least weird Trump statement this month. Honestly, if tomorrow he said, "We're annexing Greenland via Fortnite," I'd nod and go, yeah, that tracks. Segment 2, Norwegian lottery says, oops, all winners. In Norway, tens of thousands of lottery players thought they hit the jackpot, only to find out they'd been emotionally catfished by a clerical error. A whopping 47,000 people were incorrectly told they'd won far more than they actually had, which raises the question, did the lottery use ChatGPT to send those emails? And if so, my bad? The aftermath was a Nordic roller coaster of emotions. One moment, you're imagining a fjordside mansion filled with lutefisk and IKEA furniture that you didn't have to assemble. The next, you're told, oopsie, you only won enough to cover one bottle of airport vodka. Honestly, the real jackpot here was for therapists across Norway. Business just tripled. Segment 3, Cedar Point Vertical Meditation Chamber. Meanwhile, in Ohio, thrill seekers at Cedar Point's brand new ride got a bit more thrill than they paid for when the roller coaster broke down on opening day and left them dangling vertically for 10 minutes, which might not sound like much until you remember gravity is still a thing, and most people didn't train for this at NASA. Guests paid for adrenaline, but they got an impromptu blood rush to the brain, a lesson in panic breathing, and what I assume was a pants-based evacuation protocol. One rider reportedly said, "It was fun until I saw God blinking at me." Cedar Point has reassured everyone that they've fixed the ride, which is exactly what they said before this happened. So I recommend bringing a parachute or a priest. Segment 4, Snakes on a Plane, Australia edition. Over in Australia, a flight was delayed when a harmless green tree snake was discovered in the cargo hold. A literal snake on a plane moment, minus Samuel L. Jackson and plus one very confused snake who probably just wanted a window seat. The airline assured passengers that everything was under control, which is airline speak for, "We Googled snake handler near me and hoped for the best." Mark Pelly, also known as the Snake Hunter, was called in to remove the snake, which, by the way, sounds like a rejected Crocodile Dundee spinoff. I want to believe he rappelled in shirtless, carrying a flute and whispering, "I got this, mates." Fortunately, no one was harmed, except for the fragile illusion that planes are still somehow under control. Segment 5, devastating pyrotechnics lives up to its name. In California, a fireworks warehouse called, wait for it, devastating pyrotechnics exploded in an actual real-life boom that could be heard for miles. I guess nominative determinism is real. 7 people went missing, a building collapsed, livestock fled, and July 4th celebrations were canceled. Honestly, it sounds less like an accident and more like a deleted scene from Oppenheimer 2, American Boogaloo. Local residents described it as a big boom that felt like a bomb, which is usually a metaphor, but in this case, it was a Yelp review for the apocalypse. This tragic explosion is a reminder that even the most celebratory of businesses, fireworks, clowns, politicians, can occasionally go up in flames. And maybe we should stop naming explosive companies things like Boomtown Bonanza or Kaboom Inc. Just a thought. Segment 6, Orcas, the new delivery guys. Finally, in perhaps the strangest crossover between Finding Nemo and DoorDash, wild orcas are now offering fish to humans. That's right, orcas handing us snacks in the ocean. Scientists say this might be an act of bonding, curiosity, or possibly a clever ploy to get us to take the fish so they can charge us a service fee. 34 of these orca-human transactions have been documented. And in several cases, the orcas reportedly reoffered the fish when humans didn't take it the first time. That's not just intelligence, that's passive-aggressive Aunt at Thanksgiving intelligence. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship, or the start of a very wet pyramid scheme. Segment 7, the Great Minnesota Emu Escape. In Minnesota, where the weird often arrives wearing feathers and bad intentions, 2 emus named Sammy and Ali broke loose from their farm after a storm knocked open a gate. They wandered for miles, turning Chisago County into the feathery set of The Fugitive. Only this time, the escapees were 5-foot-tall flightless birds with the energy of drunk toddlers on stilts. Their capture was confirmed not by a dramatic takedown, but by the local sheriff's office posting a meme-laced public service announcement that clarified, no, the birds were not Limu Emu from the insurance commercials, nor Kevin from Up. This is the type of incident that turns rural law enforcement into part-time stand-up comedians. Forget body cams. Equip officers with TikTok accounts and let the algorithm do the policing. Also, let's acknowledge the dedication of these emus. They made it miles from home through rural America in a thunderstorm. If I walk to my mailbox and it's drizzling, I cancel the rest of my day. Segment 8, Scotland's urine problem. A Scottish medical clinic had to publicly beg people to stop dropping off random unsolicited urine samples. That's right. Not mail, not baked goods, urine. Surprise pee. Imagine working at the front desk and someone just waltzes in and drops off a lukewarm bottle like it's a potluck. I brought a little something. No, don't ask what it pairs with. There's no polite way to tell someone, sir, we didn't ask for your bodily fluids today. Come back when you're symptomatic and slightly less creepy. This highlights the dark side of healthcare democratization. Everyone thinks they're a WebMD certified doctor now. I Googled my symptoms and the algorithm told me to hydrate and panic. Please, folks, don't donate fluids unless asked. It's a medical clinic, not a weird science-themed lost and found. Segment 9, Robo League. AI soccer gets real. In China, the first ever AI-powered robot soccer tournament took place. Robots playing soccer. Not robotic players like Messi in his late 30s. Literal, battery-powered, algorithm-enhanced goal seekers. It was 3 versus 3 matches, which makes sense. AI isn't quite ready to field 11 players because it hasn't figured out what a handball is, or frankly, what hands are. This is either the dawn of a fascinating sports revolution or the prequel to Skynet, FIFA edition. Because nothing says future of humanity like watching machines play sports we're too lazy or outdated to do ourselves. I can't wait for the day when the robots develop flopping. You know it's real soccer when someone takes a light breeze and rolls on the ground like they were sniped by a drone. Segment 10, Kentucky woman wins lottery thanks to fortune cookie. A woman in Kentucky won $50,000 in the lottery using numbers from a fortune cookie, which is one of those headlines that feels designed to make your cousin who's been playing Powerball for 20 years punch a wall. Let's take a moment and acknowledge that some poor soul out there has been studying probability, analyzing past draws, and reading books like Numerology for Dummies, while this lady just ordered Mushu pork and walked away with a small fortune. The lesson here? Never ignore a cookie. Also, maybe play the lottery right after you eat something greasy and inspiring. She said the fortune read, "Good luck is coming your way." Now imagine the pressure on her next fortune cookie. If it says, "You peaked," it's all downhill from here. Segment 11. Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. Down in Florida, because of course it's Florida, we got Alligator Alcatraz, the latest immigration detention facility built right into the Everglades. It's like someone watched Jurassic Park and thought, but what if the velociraptors were real and also reptiles? The facility opened with a $450 million price tag, tents full of bunk beds, and a PR strategy that included Trump joking that immigrants might have to fight gators to escape. Nothing says human rights like treating nature as both decor and deterrent. And look, I'm not saying it's unethical to build a prison in an actual swamp surrounded by man-eating reptiles. But yeah, actually I am saying that. Environmental groups are suing, native tribes are protesting, and Floridians are just hoping the next hurricane doesn't turn the place into Waterworld Ice Edition. Seriously, we're one bad PowerPoint presentation away from calling it Camp Gator and pitching it to Disney+. Segment 12. Bear in a car does some light remodeling. In Colorado, a bear broke into a parked car and then got stuck inside. Before it was rescued, it did what any of us would do during a panic attack inside a hot sedan. Destroyed everything. Police said the bear demolished the interior. That's bear speak for, I added a sunroof, removed the glove box, and shredded the leather to match my aesthetic. No one was hurt, unless you count the resale value of that car. Carfax is going to need a new checkbox for bear damage. This is why you don't leave food in your vehicle in the mountains, or apparently just have a car in Colorado. Because out there, bears are like overly aggressive Uber drivers. You call for a ride? Too bad. I'm the driver now. Segment 13. Zuckerberg crashes fighter jet briefing. And finally, we wrap with a story that reads like a Mad Lib. Tech billionaire crashes classified meeting about fighter jets. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg reportedly walked into a secure military briefing in the Oval Office. No security clearance, no official role, just vibes, and possibly a drone prototype in his backpack. This administration has become so porous, the West Wing might as well install a revolving door in the DJ booth. At this point, I half expect the ShamWow guy to show up and pitch fighter jet windshield wipes. Trump apparently refers to the White House as Grand Central Terminal now, which is accurate if Grand Central had nuclear codes and ran on Diet Coke. And that, folks, was your parade of the absurd, your 3-day tour through July's opening act of weirdness. From Doge threats and unwanted pee to emus and exploding fireworks warehouses. Remember, reality doesn't need writers when it's already this unhinged. Tune in next time for more madness, memes, and mammals in awkward places. This has been Klepper's Corner, Weird News. Keep your urine to yourself, your car locked, and if an orca offers you fish, take it. It's just polite. Good night, America. Stay weird.